If Civil War 2.0 were a destination, we'd be heading straight towards it. Why is it that with every day that passes, it seems the divide thickens and patience thins? In this video, we're going to explore what divides us and take a look at how to mend that divide. As a disclaimer, at no point in this video am I going to challenge your beliefs, whatever they may be. The questions I pose are merely a way to help explain my point. Let's get started. I'm going to start by showing you guys a few set of photos and ask you some questions about them. I want you to really be conscious of your answers and what you think when you see these photos. Okay, here's the first set. Who are these people? Are they liars, freedom fighters, social justice warriors, terrorists, freeloaders, revolutionaries, looters, communists? What do they stand for? Black lives? Themselves? Justice? Anarchy? Change? Communism? Fairness? What do they think about our current system? Corrupt? Weak? Racist? Manipulatable? Imperfect? Fascist? Okay, here's the second set. Who are these people? Are they liars? Freedom fighters? Murderers? Patriots? Racists? Defenders? Fascists? Nazis? What do they stand for? Fascism? Freedom? The Constitution? Racism? Murder? What do they think about our current system? Fair? Perfect? Malleable? Considerate? Alright, I have one more question to ask you about each set of photos, but I just want to pause for a second and reflect on what we just went through. Chances are, you relate with one of these sets of photos more than the other. If you don't, I hope you can at least appreciate that what we're looking at are two opposing sides. Okay, now think about the answers to those questions. You probably feel very strongly about some of the things I suggested as answers and beliefs. Strong enough to elicit anger against those who oppose them. After all, how could those that oppose you be anything but what you believe them to be? Beliefs themselves are an interesting phenomenon. If you think about it, we do not and cannot choose what we believe. You cannot consciously trick yourself into believing something. You are either convinced something is true or you are not. Go ahead, give it a shot. Try genuinely convincing yourself that Santa Claus is real. Maybe if you're 8 and watching this video, that might not be a problem, but, I bet you can't do it. As a side note, what you can do is trick others into believing something, and when that's done deliberately and maliciously, we call that brainwashing or gaslighting in certain contexts. I'm not going to attempt to claim that brainwashing or gaslighting is happening right now. I'll probably cover that in a future video. So if we can't control our beliefs, how do we have them? Beliefs can be driven by both evidence and emotion. Science is an example of an evidence-driven belief system. In fact, the scientific method goes out of its way to ensure emotion cannot be considered in this system. Experiments must be performed in a way where confirmation bias can be excluded. Okay, and just as strongly are beliefs driven by emotion. The conviction of evidence-based beliefs are only matched by beliefs derived from strong emotions, like love or hate. For instance, you may think the person you most love is like the best person in this world. In reality, they're probably pretty normal. Okay, back to our reflection on the answers to those questions, aka the beliefs we have about those photos. I'm gonna ask you a few more questions. Why do you believe what you believe about these people? Is it what you've heard in the news? Is it what your friends and family have told you? Is it what you've read from others on the internet? Is it from videos of conflicts and demonstrations? Or is it just things you've heard firsthand? Follow-up question. How do you know these things to be absolutely true? Is it that the news does an accurate job of summarizing and understanding meaning from what others have to say and do? Is it that your friends and family strongly believe, and when they inform you, they speak strongly and with conviction? Plus, of course, you highly respect them, so there must be truth in what they say. Is it that thousands of people are coming to the same conclusion about these things, and each and every one of them feel just as strong, if not stronger than you do? Is it that you've seen unedited videos of actions taken and words spoken? Is it that you've seen posts or videos that clearly reinforce your beliefs? Is it that you're convinced that you know what the other side thinks and you know what they believe? We assume we know what goes on in other people's heads. We're quick to take the information about a few and project it onto everyone. We're prioritizing profiling of others over learning about them. We've been convinced we can know everything there is to know about someone based on a single statement that they've made. We've been convinced we can know everything there is to know about a situation based on the people that support it. We've been convinced that what we know is 100% true. We've been convinced that those that don't follow the same beliefs are truly evil. This brings me to my final question for you about those photos. What does each side think of the other side? Could the beliefs that they have about the other side ultimately be the cause for their behavior and actions? Could they be afraid of what they believe to be the intent of the other side? Could we be stuck in a sick loop of disbelief and delusion? Could ignorance really be the conductor of this train that's heading towards a second civil war? I think it plays a massive part. How do we fix this? I believe we must first fix the framework in which we communicate with each other. I don't want to claim that what I'm about to say is the only thing we must do, but I will claim that it is crucial and we must do it in order to construct a framework to begin having the conversations we need to have. Okay, here we go. First, we must recognize the flawed communication happening at large between the two sides is actually one that we're very familiar with in our interpersonal lives. Once we recognize that, we can begin to apply communication techniques and resolutions we have learned or will learn. To explain this type of communication failure, let me entertain you with an example. Imagine that a father just finished building a bunk bed for his two children. Both children want the top bunk and immediately look to their father for a decision on who gets it. Recognizing that this could be a learning moment, he tells them to figure it out amongst themselves. Immediately, one of the children, we'll call Alice, starts listing off reasons for why she must get the top bunk. The other child, we'll call Bob, retorts with a claim for why he thinks those reasons suck. Plus, who cares about what she has to say? Alice wets the bed, and Bob doesn't want the bottom bunk for obvious reasons. 45 minutes in, and they are screaming and fighting about whether or not Bob is better behaved than Alice. Apparently, in this example I'm making up, this is the issue they deem to be most important. The father steps in, tells them to stop, and asks, Guys, why are you so angry? After both finish ranting and venting about each other, the father points out that both have resorted to arguing about what the other said, along with using personal attacks, rather than talking about the bunk bed itself. Let me say that again. Alice and Bob got so caught up about what the other had to say that they couldn't even come close to approaching a solution. You might say that's just a childish example, but a more grown-up form of this is happening every day all across the internet. And the world, I guess. Let's go over two real-world examples, one from each side. Those that we consider on the left side claims that there needs to be a massive change with policing because the police are killing black people. The police, being of course racist and bastards, must be defunded and ultimately abolished because you cannot reform those types of people. The other side, which we consider the right, responds with a statistic that more white people die from police than black people. So they wonder, how can this be a race issue? Okay, let's pause. Both sides have fallen victim to the belief that they know everything there is to know about the other side. The left side claiming all police are beyond reform due to racism and character flaw, and the right side claiming that the first is lying through omission of a statistic and therefore they must be wrong. Let's take a look at the second example. Those that we consider on the right side claim that the riots and looting need to stop because people's lives are being destroyed. Everyone involved is either a terrorist or opportunist and should get the max penalty. After all, it's clear they don't actually support black lives and ending police brutality. The left side responds with an accusation of racism and fascism. The right is doing what they always do by continuing to oppress the oppressed. Okay. Again, both sides have fallen victim to the belief that they know everything there is to know about the other side. The right claiming that rioters and looters are terrorists and criminals with no true conviction to make progress, and the left side claiming that the right are just racist fascists. What could have been done differently in both examples? Rather than explore the societal issues in each example, I'll save those for later videos. Let's just take a look from a communication standpoint. We must accept the reality that great communication doesn't require both sides to be great communicators. Even if the side you don't identify with doesn't effectively communicate what they want to say, it's up to you to be the hero and try to come to a shared understanding. Obviously, the goal is to have both sides be great communicators, but that's not always possible or even realistic. I think both sides could have realized that the other feels strongly about what they are saying and continue the conversation in a way that explores why the opposing side believes what they believe. After an understanding is reached, you can begin to explore a mutual solution. This mutual solution is not a compromise, as compromising implies both sides are letting certain things go just to agree. No, this mutual solution satisfies what both sides want and desire. You may not believe such a mutual solution is possible, or I guess easy to get to, but this type of communication and problem solving isn't supposed to be easy to do. The belief that this matter is driven by an ultimatum is truly the belief of someone who hasn't tried to solve the issues we face. Okay, that was a lot. Let me wrap this up before it can be considered rambling. I'm not claiming that every point and perspective stated by both sides is true or fits in with your morals. I'm also not telling you to give up your beliefs for others. What I am saying is that the framework required to fix the issues we face requires better understanding of why people you oppose think and believe the way they do. If you want to learn more about effective communication, check out the book Crucial Conversations, Tools for Talking When the Stakes Are High by Carrie Patterson, Joseph Grenny, Ron McMillan, and Al Switzler. They aren't paying me to make this recommendation, nor do they know I exist. I just truly think this book is a game changer. Over the next few videos, I'm going to take a deep dive into the actual societal issues that divide us and unpack the core beliefs behind them. I wanted this video to act as a prologue to the ones yet to come. I'll most likely say things that some won't agree with, maybe even you. But I encourage you to post your disagreements as comments so we can have a conversation and so that I can continue to learn. If you felt this video was helpful, drop a like. If you felt it was total hogwash, drop a dislike. If you want to make sure you catch the upcoming videos I'm hinting about, subscribe. If you think this video can help others, give it a share. Thanks for watching. I'm looking forward to reading your feedback.